Oh, usually I hear the little boop. But anyways, welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is Wednesday, the 20th of November 2013, and I am your host, Ant-Man. Um, some funny news and some serious news in today. On today's, I don't know how you get your information, but what I do is I go to my favorite websites and I go to their newsletters and I subscribe and they send it to my mail and I'm like, hey, this is cool. So sometimes if I don't read the mail on a certain day, it's because I didn't get anything that I thought was really interesting. But anyways, I have an article in front of me by nation.foxnews.com and it is called Starnes Exclusive Costco Labels Bible as Fiction. And this is by Todd Starnes. I wake up this morning and I read the news and it says, I think it was USA Today that reported that Billy Graham was hospitalized today. He was hospitalized with a respiratory illness or some type of emergency or with some type of complication or issue that he had with his respiratory system. But, just days away too from, the cross. He wants to, he wants to reach the nation with a message, his final message, and, hopefully he comes out of this, I would like to hear what he has to say and what program he has put together for our nation and whatnot. But anyways, what do the Bible, the Hunger Games, and 50 Shades of Grey have in common? All three are works of fiction according to the bestsellers or booksellers at Costco. Pastor Caleb Kaltenbach made that shocking discovery last Friday as he was shopping for a present for his wife at a Costco in Simi Valley, California. It's not far from where I live. All the Bibles were labeled as fiction. The pastor told me it seemed bizarre to me. Kaltenbach is the lead pastor at Discovery Church, a non-denominational Christian congregation in Southern California. He thought there must be some sort of mistake, so he scored the shelf for other Bibles. Every copy was plastered with a sticker that read $14.99 fiction. Oh man, $14.99, meaning that's how much the Bible actually was put there for, that was the cost of it. The pastor knew something must be amiss, so he set off in search of a Costco employee, hoping for an answer. Unfortunately, he couldn't find anyone willing to answer his question, which is not all that surprising if you're shopping at Costco, or if you have shopped at Costco. Since no one in the store was willing to offer assistance, the Good Shepherd of Discovery Church snapped a photograph of the Bible and tweeted it to his flock. People are pretty shocked and upset, he told me. We are supposed to be living in an era of tolerance. But what Costco did doesn't seem too tolerant. Well, we're living in that postmodern era, you guys. You have to realize, the more the days go by, the more the humanists and the progressives and the liberals are going to say that we believe in Gold Age or Bronze Age mythology or whatever the hell they say all the time. It's really just a regurgitation. I don't know who started that. But it's silly. It's silly, okay? I mean, don't talk about something you don't understand. If you don't understand it, then just leave it alone. Isn't that what being tolerant is? I mean, it's the hypocrisy is really, if you were a Christian and you really care, you should be mourning for these people, man. It's not funny. It's not funny to laugh at people who are that hateful towards something they don't understand. It's really a sad thing. If you don't understand a religion or whatever you want to label it as, I say just leave it alone. Don't even touch a subject you don't understand. But too many times these days that you see people that take on issues that they have no knowledge of, and then labeling the Bible as fiction, that should be offensive to any Christian out there, that they're talking about your hope, your salvation, the fact of the matter that Jesus Christ was a real person who lived here 2,000 years ago, and paved the way for you and I to get to heaven. He's the head of the church. He's a real person. You don't need to read the Bible to know that. Josephus talks about him. There are theologians who have wrote about him. He's not just talked about in the Bible as a fiction. He's not a work of fiction, and it should be offensive to you. I doubt they would label the Quran as fiction, Pastor Kaltenbach said. Heaven help us if they did. The difference between the Muslims and us Christians are that we don't threaten you if you don't believe in what we believe in. We'll just tell you that, hey man, we're just trying to warn you, you know what I mean? It's like trying to warn someone who's about to trip over a rock. You're trying to warn them about the danger ahead. The Muslims, though, will chop off your head. They will incinerate you with battery acid. They will burn you alive if you do not believe in their garbage. this is the most, and their garbage is the one that's fictitious. It's fictitious because, hey, the book of Matthew, if you want to go and make a study out of it, is actually a first-hand account. It was written in 1 AD, right after Jesus, had ascended to heaven. All of this stuff, you could go back and trace it as historical, archaeological, or, all this stuff, dude. It has evidence to it. The stupid Quran that I have no respect for, and I'm not going to revere, and not going to be tolerant toward a religion that calls itself a religion of peace but wants to go ahead and kill people, that's stupid. I'm not going to tolerate that. But these people believe in a book that is a second-hand account of a man named Muhammad, who was a pedophile and garbage. And yet they want to be like, oh, the Christians and this and that. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go back to the Middle East if you want to start your garbage, you know what I mean? Just go back to your garbage home, dude. Or whatever, you know what I mean? Don't bring your garbage here. That's all I'm trying to say, because, the Middle East has its own problems, and I'm not trying to take that lightly or anything, but they're trying to come to our country, if you don't understand this, and they're trying to enforce their garbage religion down your throat, and trying to say that we're not tolerant of it. Hey, buddy, I understand what you believe in, and I don't appreciate it, and I do not tolerate it. And if you want to get in my face about it, then I'm going to get in your face about it too. All right, I'm not going to be bullied, and I'm not going to be forced to tolerate a religion that's going to bring nothing but destruction, nothing but lies, nothing but death. So get the hell out of here with that crap. If you don't believe in the Bible, that's fine, but at least label it as religion, as some bookstores do, or inspiration, he said. So does the warehouse store that sells laundry detergent by the gallon have a problem with the Word of God. I called Costco headquarters in Issaquah, Washington, hoping to get answers. The nice lady who answered the phone told me she was aware of the issue and chalked it up to a human error at a warehouse. It's all fixed, she said. But actually, it's not fixed, because there's a boatload of Bibles in the Simi Valley store still marked as fiction. At that point, the nice lady on the phone became not so nice and promptly informed me that Costco doesn't talk to the press. Nothing to report, she said curtly. With all due respect, perhaps they should leave the reporting to the professionals, and we'll leave the bulk purchases of toilet paper to Costco. Pastor Kaltenbach said he's not one to speak out on such slights, but seeing the good book labeled as fiction was a bit too much. It was a bit too much to take. You should be offended, man. I mean, take it with a sound mind though, and don't express yourself out of impulsiveness and emotional impulsiveness. Don't do it that way. But you should be angry about that. You know what I mean? Look at what the Bible's done for people in other countries like China, Syria. The spoiled brat American doesn't know anything about that. But if you really do your research, hey man, in countries that are not so good and well off as ours, the faith is growing in those countries, man. And those people are willing to die for what they believe in. So how dare you say that the Bible is fictitious, you know what I mean? That's just ridiculous. I think I should call Costco too and be like, oh yeah, I take it offensive that you're going to say that this is a fictitious book. This is not fiction. This is historical. This has history behind it. This has archaeology to back it up. This has, you know what I mean? All kinds of stuff. Who said that, God had the way that he made everything has a very mathematical approach to it. It's very, you know what I mean? It has a lot of geometry in it. I think it was, I was studying this the other day, though. It was a man who was a philosopher, I want to say Isaac Newton. Was it Isaac Newton? I think it might have been Isaac Newton that said that there is a geometry that God uses to make everything in the universe. And it's pretty amazing because it's true. I think it's true. Everything's very, very, mathematically, just perfect in a way. But, anyways, with all due respect, on the one hand, Christians should not yell out persecution, he said. We aren't living in Iraq or Iran. But on the other hand, I believe that we do need to stand up for our faith, and we need to be vocal about our concerns. That's a message that resonates with pastor and author Robert Jeffries. Let's hope Costco's explanation is true and not the result of having been caught attempting to marginalize the very foundation of Christian beliefs. The Bible, Pastor Jeffries told me, Christians need to call out organizations like Costco whose actions undermine Christianity, regardless of whether those actions are accidental or intentional. I think they're intentional. I think it's just ridiculously gross to just use a bunch of people who have also died. You know how much bloodshed there has been over this? You know what I mean? And you're gonna call it fiction? How this is the postmodern era we're living in. Anything goes. Right is wrong. Stupid is smart. You know what I mean? Cruelty and total ignorance is it's rewarded. You're rewarded for being as stupid and destructive as you can be in this world right now. But if you're a Christian and you believe in good, hey, you know what I mean? You deserve to be mocked and ridiculed. Stephen Smith of Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary said the fiction label identifies the thinking of the labeler more than the content of the book. So if you want to sound off on Costco headquarters, contact info 999 Lake Drive Suite 200 Issaquah ISSAQUAH Washington 98027, phone number 425-313-8100. Go ahead and do that. I will not hold you back, believe me. I do too many. I study way too much. I'm too big of a nerd, too big of a history nerd, too big of of just wanting to know facts in general. I'm a truth seeker. I love wisdom. If God gives you a little wisdom, you will be addicted to it. But you ought to be, you know what I mean, like absolutely amazed by the absolute, like, it's the cunning of the ignorance out there. You know what I mean, the deceit out there. I bet these people don't even really think about the things they do. You know what I mean? When they put a label like fiction on a Bible, it's really, all I can say is gross. It's gross, okay? Whatever your opinion is about a religion or whatever, make sure you have facts to back up what you claim, okay? If you want to claim stupid things like what Peter Joseph claims on Zeitgeist, make sure you do your homework before you're discredited like Peter Joseph. But anyways, God bless you and have a good day.